is Ezekiel. Hope you are doing well. In today's video, I'll be walking you through my approach to acoustic guitar recording. You may have known or may not have known the different approaches that we have to recording acoustic guitar, but I'm going to be briefing that explanation to you. Then I will walk you through my approach, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here, why I'm doing the position I'm using, the reason why I'm using all of this position. All right, the quick one that I would first need to tell you that you may not have known my approach to the acoustic guitar. So let's see, I have this one here. So the distance which I'm going to be giving the acoustic guitar, so I'm having like 6 to 7 inches from the microphone distance to the guitar. That's the position that I'm using for this one. Then something firstly that I will need to tell you here is that for recording of acoustic guitar, as we all know, the genres of music also determine how you want acoustic to sound in the mix. Take, for example, when you have metal, rock music, and anything related to rock music, you wouldn't want your acoustic guitar to sound boomy, to sound fat in that. Everything about metal is so almost sounding flat, frequency response. And when we talk about classical music, we talk about pop, jazz, and so on, country music, you will want your acoustic guitar to sound warm and to sound crispy, and on the top end it won't be sounding harsh. So what I'm having here, this my very old acoustic guitar here. Now, the heavy gauge that I usually use is normal on it. I was training a kid on guitar. I have to give him my acoustic guitars because I want him to be part of that and I want him to learn that. So I just bought the lightweight, the strings on it for him. And that period has been with him. But because of this song that I have to record, so I quickly need to get the guitar from him. So I couldn't change the strings, and the only thing that I needed to do is just to clean the strings, so for me to be able to still obtain the clean sound. One thing about the string size on acoustic guitar, they have different texture, they have different sound. Like the heavy gauge string size 11, 12, they sound more heavy and more clean, and just like you are hearing an acoustic piano. So if you are recording with such strings, one thing you need to be aware of and you need to be careful of is that using pick, I have different sizes of picks here that is good for strumming, especially for acoustic guitar. But in this case, I'm not going to be using plectrum. The reason why I'm not using the plectrum is I'll demonstrate that to you so you'll get to understand that. Number one, I already told you the guitar strength is a lightweight, and when I'm using a plectrum has one habit, a kind of percussive and rhythmic click in their tone. So I would have loved to have such click in this kind of music that I'm doing, but I wouldn't want that. So let me quickly demonstrate that to you so you understand what I'm talking about in the way it sounds like. All right, so you could hear the difference between while I was using the pick and the difference between when I was using my forefinger. So this finger sound mellow, warm, crispy. Unlike the pick, it sounds brighter, clicky, more percussive, like chick, chick, chick. But I really don't want that noisy tone on this kind of genre of the music that I'm doing. So I wanted to sound mellow. I was setting it that click on it. So I wanted to sound more mellow. So that's the reason why I'm not using the pick. Now, what I'll show you here is I have like 6 to 7 inches distance from my microphone to the chest of the guitar. This is a general and fitting microphone position for every guitar. Sometimes we do this area, this side, and sometimes we do here, and we don't do this here alone. When we do it here, we do both. So if you want a kind of they make that click, that neck on your guitar. So most recording engineers, they record there, and the sound hole of the acoustic guitar, that sound difference. I'm going to be demonstrating all of this one to you before I start my recording. And we mic the bridge here, and we also mic it. This area from here suits so much for classical music, pop, jazz, acoustic music, and so on. And if you are doing solo performance, and mind you, something that I will also need to tell you, the microphone choice also responds to your position. Don't forget that your microphone choice also responds to the position. Like I have this small, inexpensive Behringer V1 microphone. I love it for almost everything: cymbals, snare, guitars, cabinet, whatever. So it's fine, but it sounds more brighter on the top end, so that's why I'm not choosing that's why I'm also using my GTS1 condenser microphone. It sounds more robust and it sounds more crispy, and this would have been the best for me because it rejects the rear signal more than this one. For this case, this guide is winning now, so no competition here. It's about what's best. So the reason why I'm having the distance from the microphone to my guitar, you could hear the way it sounds clean, the acoustic effects and the ambience is not really overwhelming the guitar. That's one of the reasons why. And some people do far away from like 12 to 16 inches. And mind you, if you want to do such positioning, you have to consider that your room is well padded. Unlike my rooms, it's like half dead, because taking this position far from the guitar, my wall, there's a flat wall apart from the acoustic panel that are here. So the guitar sound onto the wall and the wall reflect back into the microphone. So one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to dare taking my microphone far from the guitar. So I will have a clean and a bit of ambience sounding guitar. So that's the reason why I'm doing that. Let me demonstrate this different position that we have for you, and you could hear how it sounds. All right, so you've just listened to different positioning of the microphone. Now, let me show you what I have here. I don't just record this guitar into DAW directly. So I have virtual mix track that I'm using with Baratin. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so what you need to see here is that from here, I'm using a virtual microphone, which is representing this microphone here. Then I'm using an EQ, so FGN EQ, so which I'm attenuating about 360 hertz, about 3 dB on that, and that's just a roll off up to 80 hertz from the low end. Then I'm using the Gate Classic, then back to L2A limiting amplifier compressor, so that goes in it. This is very fantastic for recording like this. From there, it goes into a virtual mix bus, which I'm using Brit, and that's the preset I'm using to process my signal. From there, I also have EDYN Pre is one of the emulation that gives a kind of vintage. It sounds sounds so lovely on acoustic guitar. Virtually on everything, you have to know what you are doing if you are using something like this. So this is the preset that I setting that I give to you. So I use the preset. So from then it goes to Cakewalk stock plugin channel tools, which I'm using to widen the stereo image of the acoustic guitar. So this is the preset setting that I use. Then I delay the right signal into about 6.8 milliseconds. So to have a wide sounding acoustic guitar. So that's what I use. Now I want to go proper into the recording of this song. So let's listen to it now. All right, so that's all about the recording of this acoustic guitar, and that's where I'm gonna be stopping. Maybe probably we'll just listen to some part out of it. So let's see how it sounds like. Okay, now I just want to quickly do A and B of the raw track and the processed one, so you can listen to how it sounds like the raw file directly into my audio interface versus the processed one. Alright, so this is where I will be stopping on today's video. I hope you learned something from what I've showed you. So if you really found this video interesting, please thumb up for me and share this video. Drop your comments below. What else do you think about acoustic recording, or how do you record and process your acoustic guitar on every of your songs? So let me know that one in the comment below. And if you're new to this channel, please, I want you to click on subscription button and click on all notification buttons so you get aware whenever I upload new video. Thank you so much for staying longer time to watch this video. I'm going to see you in the next time. Bye for now.